Good Wednesday morning, meteorologist Ed Valley here to talk about the nor'easter, Valley Weather Consulting. And, we have watches and warnings overlaid on the radar this morning. And in the pink, we have winter storm warnings. And in the shaded, we have winter weather advisories here in the hatched areas. Frankly, I think these might be a little bit too far north with respect to the warnings up into Massachusetts and the northern Hudson Valley. But I don't make the watches and warnings, of course. But this is what we're looking at this morning. We have steady light snow across portions of Pennsylvania. It's accumulating on roadways here. I've gotten some reports from the Lehigh Valley where it's covering the roads. We have sleet mixing in with some precipitation here along the Connecticut coast, Long Island, Connecticut, down into portions of Wilmington, Philadelphia, and then down into portions of DC and Baltimore as well. And as we move through the day today, this type of precip rate at the end of March is not going to cut it to get things to accumulate on roads. It's just not. So roadways, I think this morning especially, are going to be fine. So schools that are in session make sense. Some early dismissals I'm seeing coming out of portions of southern New England and New York City in this area here. I think those make more sense personally. Versus closing, because I think the roads are going to be fine here this morning. But as we get into the afternoon, I'm going to show you three high resolution models. All of them are a little bit different. This is the NAM model. I think this model is the most bullish with respect to snowfall, and I think, frankly, I think it's the worst of the three, but I'm going to show you all three anyway. As we get into the afternoon, notice how snow is coming down at variable intensities here across southern New England, southeast PA, and then heavy down into the mid-Atlantic and New Jersey, even into New York City. And by 1 o'clock, this model has 6 inches in New York City. I just don't see it. I really don't. I think it's going to struggle to accumulate at first here. I think western Jersey into interior southeast PA, these numbers make some sense. I think a general 4 to 8 inches here by the afternoon is definitely possible, where we have these heavier bands of snow already falling. And as we get into the afternoon, the coastal storm will take over, and we may actually mix with a little bit of sleet and rain in southeastern areas through the afternoon before changing over to all snow here during the evening hours. And temperatures throughout the day today will be rather warm, especially this morning. Temperatures will get into the 30s across a lot of areas, especially where it's not coming down too hard. But as it picks up in intensity this afternoon, temperatures will fall back near freezing or even slightly below freezing through the remainder of the storm here through the overnight hours. Now, the high-resolution rapid refresh model here shows a little bit different story, and this is what makes me nervous. Notice through about noontime, nothing's happening in New England, very light stuff in New York City, and then the heaviest stuff is confined to the mid-Atlantic. And as we get into the overnight, as that coastal low takes shape, this is by 7 p.m. Notice a heavier band of snow now developing from Jersey up into southern New England. I think this model has a pretty decent idea on what's going to happen here, with moderate to heavy snow continuing across southern New England and in the coastal mid-Atlantic here through about 10 p.m., and it'll continue through the overnight hours as well. Notice here, snowfall by 1 p.m., even on this model, has 4 to 6 inches in New York City. I still think that's too high. I think it's going to be very difficult to amass that much accumulation. And you notice through 10 p.m., really doesn't have much in New England. Maybe 1 to 3 inches total south of the Mass Pike. Not a very big storm according to the HRRR model here through about 10 p.m. this evening. Notice it is still snowing at this time across a majority of the region as well, so obviously add some accumulation to this. But you get the idea here. It's going to be marginal, and temperatures through the afternoon are going to be on the warmer side, generally above freezing, until the snow picks up in intensity this evening. That's when I think the temperatures drop back below freezing, and that's when we have our road conditions deteriorating rapidly. The high-resolution Canadian model has been doing a fairly good job with this system as well, I think. Notice similar. Through noon, it does bring a heavy band into southeast PA, maybe into New York City here by about noontime, and eventually into southern New England. But it's going to take time. And, this type of regime, this would take us through about 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Notice precipitation just ending here in portions of southern New England. But look at the snow through tomorrow morning. I mean, it's a decent storm 6 to 10 inches for a lot of places, but it's nowhere near some of the amounts that I've been seeing from some other sources and from some other viewers and clients that they've been discussing with me about. I've been on the lower side for quite a while here. I really didn't make too many changes to the snow map overnight. I did bring the 2 to 5 inch back into southeastern New Hampshire. I think we have to worry about some fluffier snow up in this area that could lead to a couple inches. I still have 5 to 8 for a lot of southern New England, with 8 to 14 here from Fairfield County southwestward. And this is going to be, in some places, New York City is included in this. Philly, you're included in this. In the metro areas, it might be tough to even hit 8. But I am thinking that in some of these bands, that's where you're going to see these higher ends of these numbers. So make sure you're looking at the ranges, not the exact numbers. But generally speaking, it's going to be band dependent. So where you get in on one of those heavier bands, you will hit into this range, maybe even on the higher side of this range in some places. So it's definitely something we're going to have to watch here through the day. But generally, I think this forecast is pretty good. I think we're in pretty decent shape here. I'm staying on the lower side. I really didn't see anything overnight that made me change my mind necessarily. The European model is still well southeast of pretty much all other data here, with only a 3 to 5 inch snow event here across southern New England and 6 to 10 inches across the mid-Atlantic as well. So I'm not seeing these higher amounts, guys. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have for today. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.